And how do you feel about the government and the way it's treated the agricultural sector for farmers in the Netherlands? Do you think have they treated you extremely poorly, or do you think that they could just do better?
Of course, they can do better, but we believe it's part of a bigger plan. Sometimes they say it's a tri-state city.
Sure.
3 years ago, when we started demonstrating, people said, yes, Holland will be the capital of Europe. I said, you're crazy, you're mad. But I think they were right then.
Yeah.
And that's why they need our land. They don't need our nitrogen. They need our land. 85% of land is from the farmers. And yeah, they chase us away to get land for building and recreation.
Dramatically. If they're going to do everything that they want, if they want to go to the goal, they're going to reduce 50% of the farmers here in Holland.
Sure.
And that's only the farming, but the truck drivers is going to come down, industry is coming to come down, mechanics is going to come down, everything is going down.
Yeah.
So we got a big problem here in Holland.
Yeah. And
dramatically. If they
Wow.
By the way, we have a diversity hire works the board. By the way, so thank you for tuning in. Yeah, you were watching that show, and I'm on YouTube, y'all. Hey, woo!
Yeah, he got spanked. He should be back on later on tonight, probably.
Yeah, we're waiting on Nancy. Hey, tell you what, thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you so much. She watched my Rumble video, and what a great supporter, and it just means a lot. Really does. Thank you, Nancy.
Right. I appreciate her too. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. What'd y'all think of the video about what's going on? Do you know exactly what's going on in Holland? Now it's actually in Italy, as well as Poland. And I got a video from off Twitter. It's happening in Germany now too, where farmers are protesting against this World Economic Forum policies that they're trying to implement in these countries.
I'm ready. Here we go. Check this out. I see that is a larger scale of what I see happening in small towns. And I'll go back to what the farmer was saying, that there's a larger plan that they're trying to move the farmers out. And there's tactics behind that. They'll do it through rules and regulations. They'll do it through messing up the financial system and also raising taxes and making it where farming isn't lucrative, where you have to get out of it. They're doing something real similar on a smaller scale in smaller towns of people who've had land in the family for a long time. Right now, as we speak, they want to incorporate areas and like annex areas and make them city limit areas and raise land taxes to where people can't afford to live there and can't afford to keep that land. And so and he's right. If they don't put a stop to it now, because when you get rid of half the farmland, you get rid of half the infrastructure, then everybody else, it's a chain reaction of what happens. And the only way to make it sustainable is through actual depopulation of the human race. Because if you have all these people not working, then something's got to happen to them. They can,
What is it? What would they say? You will own nothing and like it.
Yeah,
right.
My wife's in. I gotta say hi to my wife, and I'm gonna get back. But hey, sweetheart, thank you for tuning in. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was thinking, don't these people even stop and think, if you're pushing the farmers out and cut them down by 50%, so you're doing your thing for the, sustainability of, the new Green Deal Act or something. But the thing is people have to eat. So now what are they thinking? Oh, well, we can always import our food from somewhere else. But if it's happening everywhere and the same thought process is happening in other countries, all of a sudden you're going to have the biggest food shortage you've ever seen.
I think their thought process is, look, we'll get that land, and the government will control the food.
Well,
food
that
supply,
might, yeah, that-
control the food supply for the people instead of actual farmers or meat plants, packing plants. I don't know if you
Right,
noticed,
right.
but a bunch of those have been getting destroyed throughout
Yeah.
the world, especially in the
Right.
United States.
right.
You know,
Well,
and-
that's why I brought up the point with Bill Gates buying up farmland.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's the same correlation. You have a big corporation that's going to now do the farming, but they agreed to lease it back.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but what if the lease is so astronomical that nobody can afford to lease it? Well, then they'll have to put it to work themselves. Yeah, so
I think that's really the plan of someone like Bill Gates. He sees a lot of money coming into it. If he does it like that, hey, stop shaking that. I can't hear myself think. But that's his thought process when it comes to trying to make as much money as he can by doing that, by buying that farmland and leasing it to the farmers, getting that lease money, and then also making money off of the food that they grow as well.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for him.
But at the same time, we don't know where the connection to the local government is going to play as
when it
things
comes
change.
When it comes to Bill Gates, I don't think there's going to be any kind of connection to the government on that. When it comes to what's going on in Europe, there's quite a bit of connection, especially in like countries that are known provinces or former provinces of Britain, such as like Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. They actually don't own property in those countries. The Queen owns the property, the way it's set up, and it's they already have the Great New Deal going on there on its own, just because they're part of this community with other countries throughout the world that don't actually own any land. Now you own your house, but you don't own the land underneath it, which is
That means you're
strange.
responsible for all the
that's-
repairs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's messed up. That's like, yeah. The only way you benefit that is if you have a mobile home and you rent a lot for $200 a month. Technically not a big deal because you can pack up and leave. But when you got a house there, it's like, yeah, that's catch-22.
But a lot of European countries are the same way. The government actually owns the land, and the people can own their house, but they don't own the actual land. It's kind of like in the United States. Sometimes people can own land and not own the mineral rights.
So, like, check this
Right.
out. I'm messaging a friend of mine at the moment, but my phone popped up this article, and we were since this kind of goes exactly what we're talking about. Does anybody here in the comments section remember here recently Bill Gates buying up land in Utah, and North Dakota, and there was a legal issue, and so the courts are looking at it, and today or just happened. This thing just came out just a little bit ago, but he actually won the legal battle. He bought.
Oh no, yeah, I saw that.
He got
won.
2,100 acres of land worth $13.5 billion.
Because he agreed to lease it back.
Yeah.
You can agree to lease back, but if the farmer can't afford it, what's going to happen?
Yeah. No, nothing's going to be grown there. Nothing's going to be done
Right.
with land. Yeah.
Where does that how does that, when all this mess goes down, these people doing this great reset lose terribly because they think they're going to win. They don't realize that they're not going to win this. How do we get all this stuff
okay,
back?
my question for you is, how's it going to affect them? It's not. Because the fact is, when food goes up, goes up like it should, they're going to have the money to pay for it. People like me and you are not.
Well,
So
the
it's
other
going to
thing
affect
is-
us. It's not going to affect them.
But like,
Think
we
about
need to be
what
at
is
some
the
point.
great recess. That's going to be a reset of the monetization of
Yes.
things, right?
Yep.
What you own is you still own. I don't think it'll affect stuff that people bought with the old money. That's why I think the government spending all this money that doesn't exist, knowing where we're heading, this money they'll never have to pay back, you know. So if you have a great reset, you better spend now, get as much going as possible, because you'll never have to pay it back. So
Well,
that's my
let me go and show you this video I found on Twitter when it comes to what's going on in Germany.
One dude bought a tank. Remember you tell me about that?
Yeah.
Bought a damn tank. He did some shit.
That was in Poland. I'm sorry, not Poland. Where was it? Netherlands, where they did that.
When they were firing shots at those guys the other night.
Yeah, that was in Netherlands.
Yep. Okay. So they arrested one of the boys in the tractor, and they couldn't get him to the jail because the people were surrounded the police department with tractors, and the policeman couldn't get him to the jail.
Yeah.
That's what I call teamwork right there. I hope somebody will do that for me.
I'm gonna look up some more stuff on this real quick.
So, you know, what I was saying earlier, how? So these people that are doing this great reset think that they're actually going to take stake in this, and we need to get our stuff back. What are we going to do? How do we get our land and stuff back from these awful people? It's got to be able to. What's up there, Sean? Let's see. So what are we going to do? We got to get that land back. We can't let the people keep that stuff. That's messed up.
Here's another one. Another video.
We'll end up having a fight, sort of like a domestic, possibly kinetic.
They grabbed a bunch of straw, threw it in the middle of the road, lit it on fire.
That'll stop driving.
That's peaceful. That's a peaceful fire. I like it. Yeah.
A peaceful fire. Yeah.
It's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, it's not destroying property. It's
it won't spread because it looks like they did it on a day where it's not quite so windy. They've got it surrounded with pavement so it can't spread. I have seen diesel fuel catch pavement on fire before though. It get hot enough. Pavement will burn.
Hot enough. Asphalt. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So like why aren't we like doing anything over here? Anybody watching this, let's do a thing where we get a bunch of people and protest against this great reset.
Yeah, well, you know that you've seen the stuff about the globalists and the anti-globalists, and there's something coming out that they claim that they're not part of the globalists, but yet you go back and look at their website and it has all the same principles and all belief systems. I'm like, really? So they're what is that? A fox and sheep's clothing type of thing?
Well, it's
deceiving everybody.
Clothing, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like that Georgia Guidestone that got got blown up.
Tell me,
that thing has a ton of the same stuff that the Global Reset has. You know that it has a lot of the same stuff, like reduce the population to 500 million people.
And that's what Ted Turner was involved in all that back then. Remember that in the 80s?
Well, he got put up in the 80s, but no one's taking credit. Took credit for actually putting it up. And
well, you and I were talking about this on the phone, and you were like, "Dude, I think it was a professional job," and it very well, it was definitely somebody that was experienced. Because it wasn't like, you know, they didn't pour gas on it, light it on fire. This was legitimate. And for it to have that force, it had to have been, I agree with you. Somebody drilled in there and put some kind of primer det cord or something in there to make that happen because I got
a video. I got a video here. What?
Hickey. How do you pronounce that? Hickey?
Oh.
Hickey DTW. I'm just going to say DTW because
We can't hear you, Dave.
Oh, I was just looking to see what it was.
Yeah. What's up, DTW? Thanks for tuning in.
But I got a video from Tim Pool. He shows it. He has like 2 different clips. So go ahead and take a look.
And no, I'm not going to take shots at Tim Pool. Not this time. We'll stay out of that. Matt's waiting on me. He's looking at me. Boom.
There's 2 different camera angles. This one here. Then you have the first one there. As you can see, when it, I'm going to pause it when it gets to that second one because was
Boom. Oh, you missed it.
there you go. If you watch it come down, that piece, it comes straight down. So whoever did it knew what they were doing.
Yeah. I hear somebody beating at my door right quick. I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back.
Wow.
Some people thought it was caused from lightning.
Oh no, that's clearly a detonation because you can see you see the compression shoot off to the side.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that because you see the light over here. Watch what happens whenever.
That
on
right there.
No. Just hold on a second. Wait. See?
Oh.
Did you see it? It flashes like that.
Maybe somebody shot a cannon at it.
No, actually, what happened is, some of the
The concussion.
No. Electricity that static electricity that's caused from the explosion made that light flicker
Flash.
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
like whenever I was in building pads and stuff, and we had to actually do a blast that day because the ground's so hard we can't cut into it.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to move our trucks away from where it's blasting. I mean, there's like 100, 150 holes. And we would have to turn off our trucks, right? Our trucks, our equipment, or everything.
Yeah.
Because of the
electromagnetic effect.
Effect it would mess up your electronics and your equipment if you're too close to it. It's like an EMP. Pretty much,
right. Exactly.
And that's what happened here. And some people think it's lightning, but the thing is, if it was lightning, it would have took that first thing. That light would have went out. The cameras would stop working. Would have shut down the camera.
That you don't see a lightning bolt come down and hit the structure either.
Yeah,
so
that too. But you still can't convince people because some people think there's like, look at it, it's purple here. I'm like, okay, that's the lights hitting it. That's the angle. It's also the quality of the video.
It looks like a Michael Jackson video a little bit, kind of like Thriller. I got a 2017 Chevrolet truck I got to work on. The guy just dropped off. That's good. Work comes in. We stay busy out here at this shop, man. And so it's a lot of fun doing my videos, and so getting them out and people watch them.
Hey, I have a question for you.
A lot of fun. So anyway, working hard, getting videos out. Yep. What was that noise in the background?
Who you got a question for?
Huh? Did I miss something? I'm back. Dave, was that your wife in the background?
No, my daughter just walked in.
No, she's quit messing up our stream. Get off our stream. Dave, I'm telling you what, I'm glad I hadn't seen you in it's been 2 weeks? Or has it been a week? How long
Close to that. Yeah, close to that.
Dang. I'll tell you what. You're getting younger every time I see you.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's what it is. Or maybe I'm getting older and acclimated to your wrinkles. Was that what it is? Like when you get older and you run and y'all kind of grow together.
Don't be starting talking about wrinkles.
It's like there's no way in the world that at my age I'd want to see my wife at her age, your wife's age, naked. But when I get our age together, it'd be all right. I'd be like, yeah, babe, we're old. Look at us. I'll be flopping all around naked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Jack Hole? Yeah.
Hey, watch this.
Okay. Detroit.
Oh, you got sound. Who made that?
He do this right here. The Donald Trump dance. I can do that. Yeah.
Well, we know who said it now.
Yeah. Gunga Din.
You see?
If it was a bomb, why would they destroy it? It isn't a crime scene. I'm sort of lost here. Help me out, Stargazer.
Well, I think that they went ahead and destroyed them the rest of the way because they claimed that they were structurally dangerous.
Yeah, it was dangerous. It wasn't. It wasn't safe for the public.
Right. Whether it was or not, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Dave, you ever see that movie Spinal Tap?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else has either, but man, okay. For anybody to know, the Spinal Tap movie where it says our amps go to 11. Well, there's a scene in that movie where like they're setting up a stage. So the guy draws out on a napkin what he wants the Stonehenge, and how tall should it be? He wants it big, great big Stonehenge. So he draws on there and he miscalculates he puts one mark instead of two. He puts 2 marks instead of something like he got it where it was 18 inches instead of 18 feet. And they're all playing, jamming out. And they've got the little monks, running around in a circle. And here comes the lead beat thing and sits down. You remember that, Dave? And Stonehenge, and he's trying to play through, and he's looking like, "What the f is this?" And the guy says, "This is what you wanted." He drew it. He holds the napkin up 18 inches.
It's like, whoops.
Yeah. I think Michael Moore was the one that directed that, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. Looks
Another
like
weird irony. Okay, Michael Moore's the one that wears the ball cap. He's a heavyset guy.
Right.
The bass player. The bass player in the band Spinal Tap is the one that does the voice for Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that guy actually has ties to that organization, all the elite. He's been to that place where all these elites go, where it's that owl that's in the woods and they have like that sacrificial thing Alex Jones was talking about. You know what I'm talking about? I forget the name of it. Edgewood or whatever they call it. And so he's been there, talks about, because I watched an interview of the bass player from Spinal Tap talking about being at some of those things, and also talking about him doing the voice for Mr. Burns, which is kind of fun fact of little history and things. But then again, it also, if that guy has ties to that organization that does those weird rituals out there in the woods at those camps, if that guy has ties to that, then also has ties to The Simpsons. The Simpsons have been so well known to predict a lot of weird things that's come to fruition.
Oh, I know. I've seen a lot of
it. Does that not make sort of a rabbit hole? Anybody out there?
It blows you away. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of like, wow. And so who else is involved in The Simpsons that has other ties to these globalist people? Does that make any sense? I mean, you can go on Rumble and look this up. This is no joke. And it's the man that's talking, the dude for the bass player from the band Spinal Tap, which was a made-up band, of course, but who plays that part in that movie, talks all about this, gives specific details.
Yeah. I've gone back and watched a lot of those, and I'm blown away like, oh, man, they didn't quite hit it on the mark, but really close.
Well, you remember the episode of The Simpsons whenever the packages are coming down the line and the Chinese guy's coughing into the box and shutting the lid?
Yeah, I've seen that one. And you're like,
yeah.
Really? Yeah. Tell you the story.
Hey, guys, I got another video, and it's making fun of, what's his name, Schwab, Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, I think of a Q-tip, like,
yeah. All right, here you go.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, yeah.
To limit global warming, you are demanding to have the coal, oil, and gas exploration, to the development and to the financing of this exploration. As well, you are asking firms to replace any corporate board directors who is unwilling to transition to cleaner energy sources. To limit global warming.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dave earlier before we got on live. It was like they're talking about the tractors that the farmers are using. They want to switch those over to electric tractors or whatever.
Oh my goodness!
And I was like, I still actually have. The other day, my buddy's got an old dozer, And to crank this thing, we had to dump a gallon of burnt motor oil into the exhaust to get the rings to seal up enough to get it to fire, because it's been started off of ether its whole life. And then when it does that, it rains motor oil for a good minute and a half till it warms up and can actually vaporize it instead of it being just spit out. And so these people worried about a tractor that's running off of probably propane, LP. A lot of run off LP now. Propane or liquid petroleum has dang near a zero emission, and the emission that comes off of it is actually not bad. It's cleaner than wood. Wood is way dirtier than clean burning oil. Like if you use like oil, just straight oil to generate electricity, to run a big old steam genie or whatever to fire the turbines. If that oil is done, if you use it just right, you have super clean emissions. Dave, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was waving to Shannon.
Waving at Shannon?
Yeah, he was keying up there.
Hey, everyone.
Shannon. Anyways, but yeah, our ability to produce oil, to burn oil, or anything petroleum in America, we have the cleanest process, and it can be done everywhere else. And our emissions are way lower than everybody's, and to the point where
the other thing is we have what they call, crude oil is rated at like sweet and sour and so forth.
Our oil is cleaner.
Yeah. So we have what they call the sweetest, like AA oil that comes that way out of the ground. So it takes far less processing to get it to where it needs to go.
I'm going to call Dave. I'm fixing to call Dave and ask Dave to quit turning his ringer off. Watch this. Y'all want to see me call Dave?
No.
Say, Dave, turn your ringer off. That's how they say it in Boston. Turn your ringer off. Yeah.
Sorry about that. But anyway, what the hell was I talking about? All the guys. Oh, yeah.
But did you see that Europe or the EU has declared nuclear energy and natural gas as renewable energies?
Well, natural gas is not a renewable.
Well, they're saying it is.
So
if they're filing it under the category of clean and renewable energy, like in other words, it might not be renewable, but it is clean.
Maybe clean.
And it is.
It's clean. Well, it doesn't matter. They're saying clean and renewable. And really, gas is renewable if you think about it, because the earth is always creating it.
And especially whenever you properly do a landfill where you can harvest the methane gas, the breakdown of the food like they do over here. We have that's another thing that America has, infrastructure that they're trying to let it go completely to crap. But our infrastructure and our city dumps, we have the ability to separate and recycle a lot of material. We actually export a lot of recyclables. We also are able to harvest the methane gas. And by the way, water treatment plants. Say, for instance, if you live in an area where you have water that you consume and it goes down the toilet and into a sewer system and it's retrieved and recycled, you have a methane gas because they'll introduce microbes into that wastewater to break it down. Those microbes build a biomethane. That biomethane is so much of it that they actually have excess of it and just burn it off. If you go to a water treatment plant, you'll see it like a torch way up on a big pole. And what that's doing is it's allowing a certain amount of excess gas to burn off because they can't store it all. And it's coming from the breakdown.
Yeah, that's why you have the flame right there when you're.
Hey, are you calling me, Dave?
Nope.
Dave's call. If y'all want to tune in and hear us get phone calls, please tune in to this show here. We love to get phone calls.
I'm the only one that turned off the phone, I guess.
We missed the memo. If we're on an airplane right now, we'd be getting kicked off. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's how I get kicked out of court. I get to go to court. The phone rings, and the judge says, "You gotta get on here."
Yeah. But so what I'm saying is like I'm just I'm giving people an insight to what infrastructure we already have and where we were headed. Aside from just this whole green new energy deal that's taken the money and bled it away from all these existing projects that were actually progressing. If you go to a water treatment plant, they've got a science lab in there. These people, we have a good enough infrastructure and just our water treatment that they actually have biologists there. So in other words, you can get your water fixed, and you can figure out whether or not you're a man or a woman. Yeah.
Don't go to the Supreme Court
No,
with the new judge there.
Go to your local water treatment plant in America, and there's biologists there that can help you. Yes.
Just hope that Fauci's not there doing the same thing he did to those monkeys.
Oh boy. Yeah. See what you can fit in a monkey. That's not cool at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
So look at you, Matt. You don't even put on a nice shirt to do this.
What? You got grease all over that shirt. Grease and oil.
Grease and oil. This right here is money. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I am what Greta Thunberg or Gloomberg or Glunberg. She hates me. She looks at she looks at that behind me and she says, "That thing's got 2 carburetors? 2 carburetors? What are you doing?" I just take the gas, and a matter of fact, the other day I took raw gas, dumped it on the floor, and swept the floor. How about that? You like that? Globalist leaks.
Well, here, let me flick a match over there.
I've used it to burn stuff.
Well,
outside. Yeah. I gotta do my part for global warming.
Now it's the gasoline is best for burning money now.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all.
Well, I wonder, like, what is the BTUs of $100 bill versus $100 worth of gas?
Only you would ask, William.
Yeah. By the way, why do we use BTUs? Who gives a crap what British thinks of a thermal unit? Why can't we have ATUs? This is how we know that we were losing the world stage whenever they decided not to go with ATUs. They said, we'll just let the British figure out what the thermal unit should be.
Okay, well, so do you carry several like SAE tools and metric?
No, because a 13 is the same as a half inch. Close enough. A 14 is a 9/16 and a 16 is a 5/8. Yes, sir, buddy. What a 17 is an 11/16 if you got a hammer.
Yeah, and vice grips are
vice grips are optional. Actually, you don't even use vice grips for vice grips anymore. We just use it to hold something down.
Yeah,
I've got it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So yeah. So what's the whole outcome of all that? How long is it going? Are they going to make their 2030 agenda? Does anybody know?
Well, Biden, he's trying his best.
Well, it's not Biden though.
Yeah. Well, no, it's his administration. They're trying their best.
Well, yeah, but the rest of the world is moving away from dealing with the United States when it comes to our currency and so forth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. That's a lot of people, the everyday people that just get up and go to work. They have no clue of this stuff that's actually happening and setting us up for our the future. You're not going to like.
Yeah, there's another couple countries that want to join BRIC because of what's going on with the dollar.
Oh, dude. All right. Good subject. Who screwed up Brexit? Boris Johnson. Who's getting recalled?
That's not BRIC, but okay.
I know that.
Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, but it just kind of popped in my head. Somebody had to resign today. Which is that?
Boris Johnson.
Or looking at resignation. I think he had to resign. See, Gavin Newsom was recalled, and then he managed to say, or like Justin Trudeau, for instance. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but how they're able to hold power through recalls is they can gather up and conjure up all these little organizations that has to do with Parliament, and then they can maintain power through those insignificant made up votes. And so, I don't know. I've got to look and see exactly if the whole thing went down with Boris Johnson. But, dude, Boris Johnson is a dirty, dirty man. What a dirty pedophile.
Well, he ran. Well, anyway, he ran as a conservative. He's not conservative.
No.
Yeah.
They're doing what the Democrats are doing right now. Remember I told you a long time ago when this all started, Democrats all retire, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so what replaces those? Bunch of rhinos. Or what's worse, something happens in
Well, if you're in a district where you could put a cup of water with a D and they could win, no problem, and you get a rhino instead of that, that's better than a Democrat. That's how I look at it. Now, if you have a choice between AOC and Mitt Romney when it comes to a vote, who would you vote for? I would vote for Mitt Romney if I had no other choice.
Yeah. The lesser of two evils.
So
It's lesser
two
two
name
evils.
on the bottom and circled and just like put on there
Yeah.
a hot dog bun or something.
Yeah,
Now,
Mickey Mouse. I mean, what?
yeah, I mean, draw a picture of a screwdriver and and just circle that. Oh man, I would hate to know I'd be faced with those two choices and that's it. Like, it's like you've got these two choices will really affect you significantly from here on out and everybody in the world. So who's it going to be? That's when you would want to try to get a bunch of your buddies together in old trucks and those things that a lot of people are scared of. And we're not going to say what we would do, but we would try to figure out how to not let those two things happen. I really hope that they get rid of AOC. They've got to get rid of that Ilhan Omar. I'm going to say.
Crazy.
A former basketball player is running against her in Minnesota. I can't remember his name right now.
The problem is with Ilhan Omar's district, she's got it where it's so easy to do what they have to do.
She was booed off stage.
I've seen that. Are you able to find that bit while we talk a minute? Can you find the video of Ilhan Omar getting booed off stage? This would be great. Y'all got to see this, dude. That is. Man, she goes up there and they're like the guy. I just hit puberty. Did y'all hear that? Oh, there's people on the stage going shh, like stop, don't do that, and the woman's like get out. I don't know what that one person was saying. Get out. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, Matt is like he is our Matrix guy. In case you wondered if you were in the Matrix or not, if you were, Matt would be the guy running it behind.
Matt would be the guy behind the scenes running everything.
Reading all the little language dripping down the monitor. The ones and the zeros and the zeros and the ones. Yeah. Could you imagine being the guy who had to figure out the mathematical equation for a computer chip to fire off on each one of the other ones and zeros so it knows what zeros to count? As it flips around ones and zeros, other ones are doing ones and zeros, and they fit in little places to make it all fit in a pixel of a computer screen. And some dude had to sit there and figure all that guy. What an evil guy that was. What an evil bastard.
Yeah, and then quantum theory comes and ruins it all.
Big time. Yep.
Yeah. Where it can it's kind of like it has its own pronoun. It can be a 1 and a 0 at the same time.
Yeah.
In quantum.
It could be on and off at the same time. Oh,
yeah,
speaking about a 1 and a 0, there's this YouTuber called the Blair White Project, and she's a transgender person. And I would say, for instance, what we were supposed to be acclimated to are people like that person right there, because that person presents themselves as a woman, but doesn't put on all the crazy clown evil makeup, doesn't dance in front of kids, and allows thought on both sides of it. And recently, this person had another person on there that was doing a detransition and talking about how they feel. And this gives you. I couldn't believe it because I don't watch this stuff because I don't want. But for something told me to watch this, and I did. And it talks about the suicide rate for kids, people who've had to went through all this stuff, and then the surgeries don't work. The hormone blockers cause serious mental illness. This person even talked about how it damaged their body because of the hormone blockers, where it actually caused bone issues. And not on top of the fact the surgery that was done at the bottom. Now I'm not picking on this person. This is not me picking. I'm just trying to touch base on a subject that seems like this was a really good topic that person touched on. The surgery didn't work right. They can't even use that part of their body now for what they wanted to. And the people that did the work on this person, when she goes back to have other try to get this to work right, they're blaming. To put the blame on that person there, that surgeons didn't show any compassion. And to this day, this person can't even have intercourse now because of that happening, and this is recent, and they've been doing these surgeries for a long time, and they don't work, and people are finding out the hard way. They don't get proper consulting, and it sounded like, or that person said that they felt like a medical experiment all at the end of the day, and that was some heavy stuff, man, and that needs to get talked about. They said
I got the video.
Oh, you got the video? Okay, go
You
ahead.
found it. All right.
All right, hold on. Just keep on talking. I got to bring it up.
But
Sorry.
well, that person, even the person who was detransitioning, said that I wish that somebody had have actually addressed my mental illness because of the things that I was thinking about, and let me save this. People are mentally ill. You save them from themselves, right? And this is what this person said. I wish somebody saved me from myself. I wouldn't have done all this.
All right, are you ready?
Oh man, dude, I'm born ready. Woo.
Don't do this, please. No, please.
And this person this is their own district. And a Somalian hunter. This is all her own people.
Yep. It's from her own district.
Yeah, and all of her own, like, they hate her. All the people that she's Somalian, or what is she? I forgot.
What do you need?
Look at him, thumbs down. All the people that know what she's about, they hate her. Even her own Somalian.
Actually, you know why they were booing her?
Why?
It's because of her statement coming out about trans and homosexuals.
Oh.
And they're Muslims. Muslims, they you know what they do in other countries.
Yeah.
They make airplanes out of those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they're booing her. They're booing her because they disagree with her on that. That's the reason they were booing her.
Well, you know what? Yes, because I disagree with her on that too. I'm with these guys. Come on in, hang out. We have now found common ground. Can we all let's eat together right quick? Let's break some bread. And this is what the left is going to find out, that you can't just keep pushing these people, because just because they might be skin folk, but they're not kin folk kind of attitude is not going to fly, because people will get tired of that, because now you're not treating people like people anymore. You're treating them like somebody that you can round up as sheep. And they're going to see it. Even the most simple-minded people who have been asleep for so many years will see it, because it takes is the right word at the right time, and the person looking go, what the hell did they just say? And it's done. They never look at them the same anymore.
Yeah,
it's pushed with no compromise.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna. This is where freedom. This is where they thought they could use our own laws against us, and now their own laws that they used against us created a situation where they have the freedom of speech to say what they don't like against the people who think that they're going to be on their side. So now you're seeing the repercussion of the smartness that were the forefathers of this country, who are so smart that many years ago, to be able to form this situation where it actually will eat itself and devour itself.
Well, that's what's happening. They're devouring themselves. Look at what Bette Miller. Did you see Bette Miller's tweet where she came out?
Oh, dude, can you find it? If you talk about, I want to see it. We got to pull it up, but go ahead.
All right, I'll go look for it. But anyway, Bette Miller, in her tweet, she came out and said, went after people for abortion stuff. She's like, they're not even wanting to call us women. They're calling us birthing people. And it's like this. People went after her on Twitter because they're like, that's transphobic. And then Mark Hamill, he went on there and he actually liked her. And he's getting crap for doing that, saying he's transphobic. And I'm like this. I'm loving this because they're eating themselves.
It's just
because of
unbelievable.
There's no video. It's just a tweet, what she said.
Yeah, but so, the transgender community, who are what normal would be, kind of like, if you want to be a transgender. This just occurred to me. This just in up here. This popped in. If I'm a gay dude, right? Okay. All right. If I'm a gay dude, I need to find me a lover. I'm gonna go, and so, okay, I want to find a gay, because if you're gay, you like men. or gay dude likes gay men or something. Okay, we'll just keep it basic. Let's not get too macro. Hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere. All right. So, say for instance, if you're a man who wants to transition into a woman, okay, and you're going to have to find a man who's gay to be with you, because he's going to know that you're a man. Even through you don't care what kind of surgeon you got, you're going to be able to tell that something happened, and he's going to have to be able to accept you as a man. And a gay dude doesn't want a woman. Okay, yep. So now if you transition to a woman, you have now singled yourself out into one of the most minutest little category of being able to find the actual partner in life, because a heterosexual man isn't going to want to be with a transgender woman. At least, I mean, yeah, because heterosexual men are heterosexual. They don't say, well, it is a woman now. That's not a heterosexual man. So you see where I'm going with this?
Well, they got a new term for that. That's being super straight.
Super straight. Super straight. Okay. Well, we're ultra MAGA now too.
Super straight, ultra MAGA. There you go.
Super straight. Hey, t-shirt.
It sounds like a condom brand. Yeah.
Oh, did you see? Oh, yeah. Are you the one that put out the ribs? AOC ribs? That even tastes like ribs.
Yeah. Hey. Since we're on this, if you have a ribbed condom, you can turn it inside out, and it's ribbed for your pleasure. Yeah.
She was wondering, where's the barbecue sauce?
Right.
Hey, you remember that show called The Coneheads? Remember it come on Saturday Night Live? You remember they did a movie, and the dude's like, hey, you want some gum? And it's Sinbad. Sinbad's riding in the car with him. He wants some gum, and he hands him a rubber, and the guy opens up, and he said, this is not gum. He goes, oh, yeah, and he blows a bubble, and said, you remember that in the movie? Anybody?
Yeah.
The Conehead. That, you know what? Speaking of that, the dude who played the character, help me out, Dave, from Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Is recently under some fire right now because of some statements he made against the World Economic Forum and what Biden's doing and all this. And
really?
So is
what did he say?
Voight.
Well, John Voight ain't surprised me, but what did Dan Aykroyd say? I'm kind of curious.
I don't know. I just seen it when I didn't read the article because I didn't have time, because I was just thumbing through. When I go to my thing to go to my invoice system, there's a thing pops up with mainstream articles, and I was in the middle of stuff. And by the time I got back to it, I forgot.
Was it in tweet, or was it?
I think it was a tweet or something. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah, and yeah. So Dan Aykroyd under a little bit of fire, and. That, by the way, that's why Squidbillies isn't on anymore, because of the Unknown Henson guy got canceled because of some comments he made about what was going on in the government right now. And this was a couple years ago, but he got canceled. That's another. Speaking of getting canceled, the first part of seeing people getting canceled in mainstream era was Hank Williams Jr. Whenever he talked against Obama, and whenever it went on the air, the Obama people got pissed off and told Fox to take him off of the football. That's why you don't have Hank Williams Jr. singing the Monday Night Football song anymore, because of the remarks he made about Obama back in the day. I don't know if do you remember that, Dave? Remember hearing about that?
I don't remember hearing about it, but
I remember that, dude. And I ain't gonna lie, because I saw what Hank Williams Jr. said about Obama, and it was patriot boner material. I'm telling you what, he laid it out there. He said it, and they canceled him. But he said what he said. I can't recite word for word, but I do remember him saying like that Obama's just messing everything up. He said it like it was. He didn't call him anything racist. He just said this dude's screwing it all up, and then talked about the Great Reset and all this stuff. And he got took off Monday Night Football, and he's still in the music scene to a certain extent, but not like he used to be. It really. They put the damper on him. But we need more people like him to speak out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what exactly. Do you remember what he said?
No.
What
This was
was
probably
it
a week or two. This is a week ago anyhow.
What was it about?
I don't know. I just remember seeing the thing said under fire for comments made. And,
about what?
Transgenderism and just stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. I'll find it then. Okay.
Yeah. It was a week or so ago. But everybody right now, people can't be comedians because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only bold one is Dave Chappelle. He's kind of.
I don't know.
Derek Chauvin's been sentenced to 21 years.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about that too much.
no. Get you in trouble.
How do you spell Aykroyd?
Aykroyd.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I'm doing computer. Dave, what are you doing over there?
I'm looking at another screen here.
Anyway,
trying to see what you guys were looking at.
I'm just seeing if I can find that. What?
I can't find it.
I can't find anything. I just remember seeing it pop up. I swear it is.
Don't worry about it.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Get back to StreamYard over here. Yeah. We're learning how to computer still, guy. Romeo. Oh, my goodness. What's going on, man? I can't put your post up because I'm still under YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I can get it, I'll get that What is Truth post up on my community things. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah. I mess up my spelling a lot of times, and people will like, which is fun. Whenever I mess up the spelling on something, it seems like I get a lot more comments in my comment section of somebody telling me how I messed up my spelling. I'm like, yes, it's good for the algorithm. Yeah, being a tard pays off every once in a while, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I won't even try to play it like I did, like it was on purpose. I'll just own up, like, yeah, well, I screwed up. I'll go fix it. But it worked. I mean, it's always fun. I'm human, guys. I'm not artificial intelligence.
Really? Sure.
For real. No, I'm for real, guys. Yeah. Then all of a sudden something comes out of my ear. Flies off. Yeah.
Well, there's something.
Oh, I seen my first. Well, not my first. Well, what do you call these guys who's not transitioned into a woman, but they're femboys? This dude, this little bitty guy. This little bitty dude, man, had this like long hair, and he had it kind of like whenever, you know how a girl puts this stuff in her hair to make it look like it's wet all the time. You know what I'm talking about? That stuff they put in there. And this dude had it in there, had two little piercings right here. And he walks in. I wasn't even here. I was at my buddy's shop. I had to get a tire put on the rim to go on a car that I was working on. So I took the tire up there and dropped it off. And I went to pick the tire up. I'm talking to my buddy at his shop, and in walks this transmission. and I didn't realize it at first. It just looked like some little skinny girl that didn't have it. Anyways, and, you know, I got in the truck. I looked. I said, "Oh man!" And then my buddy calls me up and he goes, "Dude, guess what just happened?" I was like, "You just got your first transmission." He's like, "Yes, I did. This is the first for me." Little fem dude. I said, it was funny because when it opened its mouth, it was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "What the hell?"
You need to do something about that voice, huh?
Yeah, you know, if you're going to go in, had little capris on, the capri shorts this dude had on.
No.
Yeah. And I wasn't looking or nothing, but if I had shorts on that tight, you would definitely. You would be showing just some girth there. This little guy could put these little pants on and didn't have a problem at all. It's too hot for that, you know.
Hey, you want to see that video of that guy who killed that, what's it called, a rooster? His rooster, a pet rooster. He got arrested, got put in jail.
Well, I check it out. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is new to me. Escape from Babylon. Woo, jorts. And when you fart in one of those, it's called a jart. Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, William.
Me too.
Story. A Florida man is speaking out after a month in jail. He's accused of killing his neighbor's rooster. He says the
We got to bring that volume up.
he was wrongfully imprisoned, but his former friend says that is not the case.
I didn't know to give it a 21 gun salute. CPR. Now,
Is this in Laurenburg, by any
you
chance?
know, or call the chicken ambulance.
Big
Cause
Roo
the
was
chicken
James State Police's pet rooster. That is until James Nix hit it with a stick.
So I'm defending myself. You know, I was
'Cause
feared
it's a
for
killer.
my safety,
Yeah.
and the chicken, you know, died.
Nix says the rooster attacked people.
I have not heard that because I know the neighbor here.
Hey, they put
I
dogs
know
to
him.
sleep all the time
Like
for that.
we're friends. He never said anything to me about it.
I did tell him after the chicken hit my dad, and said, "Hey man, the chicken attacked my dad." Oh, what's the deal? It's just a chicken. What's he gonna do? You know?
It
Okay,
is
well,
just a
look,
damn
He says the
chicken.
rooster followed and attacked him.
his neck flares up, and he's doing his thing, and he's trying to jump up at it. I tried to hit it, but the chicken's jumping up
Yes,
at me. And I
sirree,
accidentally
not
knocked it in the
today.
head. You know, call it a lucky shot.
Look at those
whatever.
nipples.
When Dave Felice came home, all he saw was his rooster dead in a ditch.
I said, I'm
Oh,
calling
man.
JSO. I called JSO. JSO didn't do nothing. Then a couple of days later, I realized I could call animal control.
And in late June, James Nix went to jail for animal cruelty.
Next
He
thing
should
you
be
know,
locked up for not putting his underpinning around his trailer.
chickens are dying every day. People at churches, Popeyes.
Should have
and
that
Kentucky
chicken
Fried
on a
Chicken.
leash, damn it.
Really?
Do you reckon? But hey,
The
how do you reckon the
neighbors
chicken died? Do you think he
continue
like
this
knocked it
very
out with his
important
chicken? Then
fight.
he
Nix says
finished
he
off by
never should
choking
have
that
been
dude's chicken?
arrested in the first place.
What did we just see?
He had a point, right? I mean, chickens
What
die
just
every
happened?
day, but that poor neighbor lost his unclucky friend.
Aw.
You know, a rooster does have these little dogs on its legs where they can kind of flog you, you know, and but here's the deal, you know, that I'm kind of with the chicken though. I didn't really like that guy a whole lot either. You know?
Because of his mannerisms.
Well, in South America, they put little spurs on them so they could fight each other. You know.
No, they do that, dude. They do that like an hour down the road. Then they do it. No, and it goes on. They have
They
big
do it
events
next
in your
door.
state too. By the way,
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
big, huge chicken fight events. And I do not indulge in chicken fighting. I love little chickens. I want to see them run around and be happy. I don't agree with what they do with putting the gaffs on them. They call them gaffs, by the way. And
Yeah.
and they do that, man. And that actually is surrounded. That whole chicken fighting scene is surrounded by methamphetamine.
Mhm.
Sure is.
Yeah. So
Pretty
do you have
soon it'll
any
be,
disclaimers for that too?
Yeah, well, pretty soon there'll be transgender chicken fighters. That's going to be something. Oh, speaking of that, I've done time in prison before, right? And you start off at a place called a processing facility, and a lot of times it's a maximum security prison because they don't know your status, so they take you to the highest level of security. Then they do several. They run some tests. They do an IQ test, several things. Then you're appointed a caseworker. Then they kind of send you to the camp that you're going to go to and do the rest of your little time with. But before you get to your camp, they give you a ham sandwich. When you leave the processing camp, which is usually a horrible place, which I was at, it was a maximum security facility for youth people, which they were stabbing each other left and right in there. I'm like, I'm in this place. Okay, but I was there for a month and a half. Well, when I processed, they took me to a thing called a bullpen.
Transgender cock.
Yeah. I see what you did there. So when I was transferring to my stay on camp, they get on a bus and then you go to a central location called a bullpen, and you're in with everybody. You're in with people who are doing life. You're people that's been in
General
there for 50
population.
years.
Yeah.
And so I knew I was in a really scary. I've never been in an incarcerated situation like that, so I knew not to. I didn't know don't talk to people. I've been in county jail enough to learn how to sort of mannerism and stay away.
I thought you looked familiar.
Stay away from people, and I did it. And okay, so now I'm in there, and I found me a little place up against. My back's against the wall. Everybody's in front of me. And I'm sort of scoping the place out, and I look through another gated part of the bullpen because you're in this like fenced-in thing, almost kind of like a dog lot at a humane society. And I look, and I'm like, wow, there's women in here too. This is strange. How are they having women in there with all the guys? I mean, they had these people had long hair, makeup, like all the
makeup.
But the lips, they had their lips all done up, makeup on their eyes, and I'm just looking like, wow, there's women in here. And then I look a little closer, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, those are guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
they all got
I
arrested
spent
on
every bit of
purpose.
Had it been 45 seconds to a 48-second look-on period to figure this out, long enough for all of us to kind of realize I'm looking at them, looking at me, and they thinking now they're like,
they're thinking, ooh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that guy's
And I'm like,
looking at us.
oh no. I had to figure. It took me a while to process
We're
all
gonna
this.
catch
So
you in the
staring and I realize
showers.
now I'm luckily nothing happened. Everything went fine. They were in another thing and all. And I got on my little thing on a little bus and we rode to my original place. Nothing happened. But that was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. That how they were able to, like, how did they get makeup in there? Who's bringing them makeup?
The guards.
Well, they have accounts, don't they?
I'm sure.
But you're not at the. This is you're going to go to the canteen on your prison camp. Be like, let me get some of that Liz Clay. You might could do it now. But when I was there, this was back before we did this. I'm 41 now, so I think I was 23 at the time when this happened. So this whole transgender thing hadn't really kicked in yet. You wouldn't find that on your state prison camp lipstick and all that. So however they done that, I have no idea. But just the eye contact was way too long and it got awkward real fast. That's all I can say. I was like, oh gosh.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to end this soon. I got another video I want to show you. It's from Sky News. It's on. Let's go ahead and bring it up.
I probably saw this one. Dutch farmers. Let's go.
Somewhere else that seems to be sliding into dictatorship is Holland, which may not entirely be a coincidence. The similarities between Canada and Holland are as startling as they are disturbing. Here's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, leader of the laughably and ironically named People's Party for Freedom and Democracy. Apart from obviously sharing the same wacky lefty sense of humor, those two both are, of course, golden pin-up boys for Klaus Schwab and the globalist fantasists of the World Economic Forum. Only a few months ago, it was the Canadian government that attacked its own citizens in the most grotesque and terrifyingly authoritarian manner during the so-called truckers' convoy revolts, when the government actually froze the bank accounts and basically starved out any individuals involved in what was legitimate, peaceful, democratic opposition to COVID mandates. That ended badly for Trudeau, particularly after this shameful incident in which Canadian mounted police trampled over a peaceful woman protester.
I remember that. She survived, thank goodness. I seen an interview with her. She's an Eskimo. She had an Eskimo. She had a walker and everything. She was an old lady on a walker.
Yeah.
And she lived in that. Her family. She's probably one of the first settlers in Alaska. She's been there
like that before, haven't I? Reminds me of some. Oh yes, Melbourne under Dan Andrews. Media! But I digress. Let's go back to Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte at the World Economic Forum in Davos last year, boasting about Holland's involvement with the World Economic Forum's global food innovation hubs, which is busily, quote, transforming food systems and land use.
I'd like to highlight a World Economic Forum initiative in this regard, the World Economic Forum Food Innovation Hubs. And these hubs in Africa, in Asia, in South America, and in Europe will allow businesses to connect regional stakeholders to skill innovations, because this is key. Skill innovations that can address food systems challenges. And here, I'm particularly proud to announce that the Netherlands will host the global coordinating secretariat of the World Economic Forum Food Innovation Hubs.
The hubs are set out to transform food systems and land use, eh? Wonder what that means exactly. Well, your guess is as good as mine, but as I mentioned last night, currently the Dutch government is embarked upon insane efforts to slash greenhouse gases and reduce the amount of nitrogen ammonia in the soil by 30 to 70% by 2030, or even by up to 95% in some places, in order to meet green EU climate change targets that Holland has signed up to. And this means literally turfing people off their farms. I guess that's one way to transform land use and food systems, Rutte? Well, the Netherlands House of Representatives has released a statement which said, quote, "The honest message is that not all farmers will continue in business. Those who do will have to farm differently." Wow. Just think about
ultimatum kind of.
But everyday, hard-working Dutch family farmers
It's
and
kind of
others
like what
are now
Biden's doing
involved
to the
in
oil field
massive
here.
and growing protests. Hardly surprising, with tractor blockades, manure being dumped on government buildings or places, and there are
Just
accusations
dumping so much
of the
manure
Dutch
everywhere.
secret police
Yeah, they're
infiltrating
completely
the
full of shit.
protesters. The same
Yes,
playbook
they are.
used,
They have
by
that air.
Trudeau, allegedly.
And I seen one that are washing it down, so
And
it go under
overnight,
the
there are
door
even
to the building.
accusations
All
of
that
shots
water
being
was
fired.
going under the door.
This, by the way, is what happens when your national government gets penetrated by globalist activists from the World
Absolutely.
Economic Forum.
I like the word
Does
penetrated.
that sound like a
But
conspiracy?
that's what
Yeah,
happened.
of course you. Yeah,
But
of
alas,
course.
it's not
Yeah.
me saying it.
Powerful
It's
word.
dear old Klaus Schwab back in 2017, fessing up to what the World Economic Forum is really up to.
And mention our names like Mrs. Merkel.
What do you think about that Madonna
even,
microphone?
Vladimir Putin and so on. They all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud
song
of
the other day.
now,
63-year-old
the young
grandma was on stage.
generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So
you like that
yesterday I
one,
was at a reception for.
Man, I got a little bit. I got a rise off.
would know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
Whatever
Well,
happened to
somebody-
when people or the local governments worried about pleasing the people and doing what made the people happy? That it seems like that's all gone out, to the wayside. Used to be a small little group would get up and complain, and the government would just roll over and do all sorts of things because they didn't like the optics of it. Now it's just the other way around. It's like they're just forcing stuff on us until we turn around and protest. It's like it's a complete opposite of when I grew up. It was completely different. It's something else. Just showing my age, I guess.
Well, William, what'd you think of the video? What do you think about the whole situation?
Well, first of all, like I said, Klaus Schwab reminds me of an evil Q-tip. Even his head looks like an evil Q-tip, and his name says Schwab, and they make Q-tip.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: there's enough footage out of there of him talking like this that there's no reason for this not to be shared more. People that's watching this right now, please record this and show this to everybody. Share this video. Let people, fast forward through all the stuff we talked about to the part where Klaus Schwab was talking, because how does it make me feel when I see that? A lot of people would throw their hands in the air and say there's nothing we can do, and a lot of people would say, well, it won't be in our lifetime, which is sort of their way of throwing their hands in the air. And I have stronger feelings about people who do that than that guy is doing. Okay, like when somebody says, it's not going to be in our lifetime, I get more angry over that than I do when I see Klaus Schwab talk like that. Because
my generation is really guilty of that. Even myself, it seems like now that I've gotten older, I've become more aware of what's going on. And and a lot of my friends, even to this day, don't see the stuff that I see, because now all of a sudden I'm hyper focused on what's going on in the world.
You're looking at things like, shit, it's going to be in my age. Nowadays. And what it is you had your dad say that, and you had somebody else's dad. They're all
never in my lifetime. Yeah, don't worry about it.
And so I get more worked up over here and that. And I'll look at somebody and say, how many times you hear somebody say it won't be in our lifetime? When is it going to be? Whose lifetime is it going to be in? And on top of that, you lazy.
The thing
God
is,
help
every
him.
year passes, they progress further and,
it's-
further.
Yeah,
And
it's
it should have been stopped. It should have been stopped a long time ago.
I watched an
And
episode of Johnny Carson. And this was a rerun from 1979 or 1980, about the time that stupid Stonehenge thing crap in America, they done it in Georgia. There was a man that they were interviewing talking about this. And you got Johnny Carson go, oh, this is a pretty good idea. Yeah. Because the way they sold it, it didn't seem like they said, well, we want to achieve a certain population. What people fail to do is ask, well, what's the population of the earth right now? And they would say, it's this number here. Well, you want to achieve this population. Nobody asked that. They go, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. But they don't realize that means killing a lot of people. And in the process of doing so, the suffering of the people who don't die and what happens afterwards. So this has been going on for so long, but branded as such a ecological move, and you had to dumb people down along the process, because as people got older and started to see what's going on, you needed a stupider population to not accept the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many people didn't know about that, about the Georgia Guidestone? You know how many people didn't know it existed?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I'm an Alex Jones guy, so
yeah,
it's pretty much, that's the first thing you learn right there. If you're going to say, I listen to Alex Jones, I'm going to give you a small test right quick and see, do you listen to Alex Jones? Because the first thing I'm going to ask you, some of them questions are those questions right there. Yeah.
Well, that's also why the choice thing is such a big thing, is because that is a form of population control, because they're using it as birth control rather than
it's also
what it is.
It's also eugenics. It's eugenics. You want to keep a certain group of people from existing, and that's people with mental disorders such as Down syndrome, stuff like that.
Oh, that's a plan that'll backfire for them, because if you get rid of all those people and all the people are left are people like me, you effed up.
You know, if you think about it, when you were in school, I think it was like every grade I had someone that had Down syndrome in my grade. And now my kids, they don't even know what Down syndrome is. They've never seen anybody with it.
Everybody looks like it now. Everybody got Down.
Well,
not everybody has Down.
You're more likely to see someone with alcohol fetal syndrome than you are.
Yeah. I don't think that. I think my mom drank a lot when I was pregnant.
We can tell.
Yeah.
Or when she was pregnant. Yeah.
And I wrote part of the newsletter for This Way Network, and one thing I talked about is I'm dyslexic, and I was like, what if they could test for people?
We can get Viagra for that, can't you?
What if they could test people for if when you're a fetus, test them for being dyslexic or autistic, or ADD. If they were able to do that, how many of these kids would actually be born? Because if you think about it, it's 1 out of, I believe, 54 babies that are boys have autism, have some kind of form of it.
Well, and I resent the fact that you pick on ADD, because I think ADD makes the world go round.
It's a godsend. No, it really is.
The thing is, people with ADD, a lot they're starting to find out that that's on the spectrum with autism, as is dyslexia.
But they're usually so creative and so
Yeah. My dad's autistic, so my dad tries to tell me I'm autistic all the time, and I was like, I don't see it, because I don't do some of the stuff he does. He can't look in people's eye. I have no problem looking in people's eye. He's not real.
You just blink a lot, right?
He's not confrontational. I'm confrontational. He's not.
Yeah, I know.
He's not at all. So I'm like this. Okay, so I don't see it in me, but I do just see the dyslexia, because when I read something, sometimes I get the letters mixed up and stuff like that happens. So it just.
So when I was reading the article in This Way Network, I go, he's not dyslexic. Look at it; it's all spelled perfectly. And
I use Grammarly. I used Grammarly and then gave it to Gina, and she edited it.
Further edited.
Yeah.
So, all right. As long as she knew what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well,
guys, if y'all don't have anything else to talk about, we go ahead and end the show.
Okay, well, I
Oh,
appreciate
don't
you.
say that because we'll never leave because I got stuff to talk about, buddy. But I think we're going to end on a good note, though, because we've covered a lot of great subjects. We have. This has been a great and a lot of fun too. By the way, the levity that with you two guys is so much fun. I love Dave. You're such a fun guy to be around. You really are, dude. You have a hell of a soul.
I like how y'all try to interrupt me while I'm talking about something, try to mess me up. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it irritates the hell out of me, but it's okay.
It worked, William. It worked.
Every time it happens, I'm like this. I'm like, you're doing it on purpose. Let it go. Just let it
Dave
go.
and I do it on the side. We have side bets as to how we can do it, actually. So I owe Dave $20 right now, I think, something like that. Yeah.
Hey, I just kept going.
Yeah,
cool.
you did good.
All right.
Well,
Thanks, Nancy. Nancy,
want-
thanks for sticking around. Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Nancy. Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for showing up, watching. I really appreciate it. And go check out William at William Archibald.
I'll be off my thingy in a little while.
Yeah,
eventually.
and then
I'll
check
be
out
back.
Dave and Callie.
Dave pointing at his Callie.
Yeah. And don't forget, go to our buddy Shannon.
Yes,
Shannon Fox, the
Shannon.
Vet Patriots too.
Yeah, Shannon. Yeah, we got love on Shannon. He's good, dude.
Yeah.
And don't forget about American in Exile. down
American
there.
in Exile.
He's all the way down there in Brazil. Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, that's
All
where
right.
they make all the bras, ain't it?
Yeah.
And the host of our show.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Take it easy.
Right in exile. All right.
Bye.
Catch you guys later. Bye bye.